What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video because I have another Morphe palette to review, the Morphe x Nikita Dragun collaboration, and I just want to say that every time I review something on my channel, no matter who it's by, it's always going to be about the makeup, not about the people behind it. There are some people I will not support for certain reasons, but it's literally all about the makeup. If I like a palette, I like a palette, and that's it. If you want to see my review on this palette, then keep on watching. Palette right here. This baby retails for $30 and this is considered one of their artistry palettes. Can we just talk about the packaging on this palette, because I think that this is Morphe's best packaging ever. You guys know how I feel about packaging. I'm a sucker for it. This is so beautiful, so aesthetically pleasing, and this packaging did inspire my look today. I love these purples, blues, and greens. I just think they're so beautiful. And then the inside, oh my gosh, let's talk about the inside of this palette. So of course you get 25 shades. This is Morphe's typical layout of their palettes, and I know what you're probably thinking, girl, some of that looks pretty familiar, and honestly you are absolutely right. The first two rows looks like something out of the James Charles palette. This whole palette kind of looks like a revamp of the James Charles palette, if I'm being completely honest. I do have the James Charles palette right here. This look that you guys see, I do have a tutorial on this towards the end of this video. If you want to see how I got this look, then definitely stay tuned towards the end of this video, but I am just going to be doing the review on the palette first. There's some really gorgeous shades in here. I don't know if you guys could tell, but there's this shade called Metamorphosis, and it has like this little tie-dye pattern within, as well as the shade Full Fantasy. I think those are really cool. There is a pressed glitter in here. I want to live swatch some of these for you guys because I was blown away by how good these swatched. You guys see these, right? Okay. Here is that red shade. Here's that purple shade. Here's that blue shade. Do you guys see how good these are? These are so pigmented and like they're really pretty. I was so shocked. I was like, wow, I have to live swatch this on camera when I start talking about this palette because those shades are beautiful. Like mattes don't usually swatch very well, and those mattes swatch like a freaking dream. I'm just, oh, they were just, oh, so good. I'm really in love with this eye look that I created. It's so beautiful and I really enjoyed this. This palette is so fun to play with. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really drawn to the first two rows, but I appreciate the fact that they're there because sometimes you just need a brown to complete a look. Sometimes you need like a really light bone shade to highlight the brow. You know, you never know what you could need, you know what I mean? My eyes are drawn to these bottom three rows because they're so beautiful, and I did not want to touch any of those top two rows. Really do like the color story. There are some overlapping shades like in the James Charles palette, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what was going on when they created this palette. Maybe, I don't know. Let's get into the comparison with this James Charles palette because some of you guys are probably wondering what's the tea, you know, like what's going on. This is my cousin's palette. This is the one that I gave her. I no longer wanted to keep this palette. It was too hard to store, so I gave this to her. You guys know I like to keep my palettes pretty clean, so this is not, I told her about cleaning her palette. I told her, but she didn't listen to me. Okay, do you guys see how similar these two are? So similar. There's so many shades that look the same. I will say for $30 though, it needs to have a mirror. I don't understand why there isn't a mirror in this palette. I feel like this palette would have been like a 10 out of 10 for me if there was a mirror. Right now I'll give it a 8.5 out of 10. I'm taking off a lot of points because there's no mirror. This is an artistry palette, as well as it's $30, and we've gotten a $20 palette with a mirror. We've gotten like $22 palettes with a mirror. Like, this is $30. This should have a mirror. Honestly, that's like my only critique about this palette, you guys. That's literally my only thing. That's all I have to say negatively about this palette. Also, that there are a lot of dupes that you could dupe in the James Charles palette as well. $30 is a bit pricey for a Morphe palette. Now that I'm like really thinking about it, especially a 25 pan palette that's normally $25, the extra $5 I feel like would have been going towards like a mirror or something. So I'm a little bit iffy on the price. That's also why it's an 8.5 for me. Everything else, the formula is great. I love the packaging. I love the palette. I just wish that there was a mirror in here. So I do have a tutorial on how I got this look. If you want to see it, then definitely keep on watching. So first, going into the shade Mama Dragon, and I'm taking a pencil brush and I'm running this pencil brush strictly through my crease, kind of marking the shape that I want this wing to be. And I'm just gonna build it up until I get my desired color and shape. Next, going into the shade Army, I'm using this to kind of darken out my crease. I didn't really want to go in with the blacks. I didn't want it too dark, but I just thought this was a really good color to mix in. Now we're going into the shade ABG, and I'm using this shade to basically blend out that wing, taking it up to my brow bone. Now I'm going into my P. Louise base in the shade 0. I'm going to follow the shape of this wing and cut it. Going into the shade BB Boy, I'm going to place this right at the top of the crease cut because I'm going to place glitter down, and I kind of want this to be like the base for the glitter, just in case if you see through the glitter you see blue. Going back into my P. Louise base, I'm going to do another cut crease, and this is going to be a guide for me when I put down that green shade a little bit later, but you know, this is really just to get the shape of the eye look. Taking some NYX glitter primer, putting it on the back of my hand, and I'm only putting this glitter primer on top of the blue that I put down. Taking my glitter from Midas Cosmetics, this is in the shade Ocean Eyes, and I'm just tapping this glitter so I don't get it everywhere. And we're going into the shade SHEGO. Love the shade. And I'm going to place the shade all over the lid where I don't have any shadow. The shade is so pretty, you guys. And now I'm taking a little bit of KITANA, and I'm just packing a little bit on the center of my lid just for a little extra glitter. Then I'm going to go into the shade Full Fantasy, and I'm just going to put this on the lower lash line. And here is the finished look, you guys. I love it so much. This is just so beautiful. This palette was amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.